Hello, everyone, and we got killer news for you today. Sam Bankman-Fried has been found guilty on not one, not two, not three, but all 7 accounts. Fraud, 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 fraud times 7. And he faces up to over 100 years of jail. That's correct. 100 years in prison. Now, they haven't sentenced him yet, but I think because he's guilty on all 7 charges, he faces somewhere between 35 and 114 years in jail. And he has been called a multi-billion-dollar scheme designed to make him king of crypto and one of the biggest financial frauds in American history. Tens of billions of dollars, folks. And unlike his co-conspirators, Gary Wang, Carolyn Ellison, and others, there is no plea deal for Sam Bankman-Fried because generally they don't give mob bosses plea deals. They give the lieutenants plea deals, but they do not give the boss a plea deal because their goal is to get the boss. And of course, Sam Bankman-Fried has issued a statement from the council. He says, "We respect the jury's decision, but we are very disappointed with the result. Mr. Bankman-Fried maintains his innocence and will continuously to vigorously fight the charges against him." But however, there's not much to fight. They can file for an appeal, but most likely the appeal is going to be the same result as the trial case, because in an appeal, you cannot submit new information. You have to hope that the appellate court will decide differently from the initial trial court ruling. And that is most likely not going to happen in the case of Sam Bankman-Fried, because there's just so much overwhelming evidence against him that there is no way that he can weasel his way out of this one. I am obviously very, very happy with this trial result. I think he should have been guilty times 10 a long time ago. And I think a couple of decades in jail, he can think closely about what he's actually done, how much he's destroyed the crypto industry and hurt it, and how much he's ruined the lives of many, many people. So, this is actually what's happened. Former FTX CEO, SBF, has been found guilty of all 7 charges by a jury. That means they unanimously voted him guilty. And you know how long it took him? Not one day, not a week, 4 hours. Honestly, it probably took them like 5 minutes. And then they spent the rest of the 3 hours and 55 minutes basically saying that, what are we going to do for lunch? You know, we have to be in here for a while to make sure they think we're serious. But where you guys want to go after this? So I think they found him guilty in like about 5 minutes, and then they spent the rest of the time basically deliberating where they would go for dinner. Because with all the evidence that was presented against him and the cross-examination where he got completely floored. Yes, he had a tearful farewell in court when the closing remarks were delivered, because I think his counsel told him I don't think we're going to win this. The best hope we have is a hung jury, but no hung jury was found. They could not actually go for a bargain deal with the prosecution, and I don't think any appeal is actually going to work. So he was found guilty of 2 counts of wire fraud, 2 counts of wire fraud conspiracy, 1 count of securities fraud, 1 count of commodities fraud conspiracy, and 1 count of money laundering conspiracy. So they threw the book at him. And all these charges carry somewhere between a 5-year sentence and a 20-year sentence per charge. So 5 times 7, 135, 5 times 20, 7 times 5 is 35, 7 times 20, 140. So technically, it should be somewhere between 35 and 120 years in jail. Let's just take the average and settle for 70 years in jail. So he'll be roughly 101 years old when he actually gets out. But the thing is, he's probably not going to spend that much time in jail. I would settle for 20, 30 years, honestly. I think that's a good time of punishment. And remember, this is federal prison. The thing about federal prison is it's pretty hard to get parole. You have to stay in there for quite a long time before you actually get parole. I don't think he's going to last very long in there anyways, because Sam Bankman-Fried is not the type built for prison. Remember, he basically cracked after a couple of weeks in a Bahamas prison. So I don't know if he's going to be able to last for 7 decades in a federal penitentiary. Now, to be fair, the American federal penitentiaries are better than Bahamas prisons. Those things are hellholes. Our federal penitentiaries they're not luxury conveniences, but, they're passable for prisoners. But I don't think the prisoners in those penitentiaries will treat him very well. They might ask him for financial advice, just like they did with Bernie Madoff, but otherwise, I'm not really sure. And of course, he did manufacture a multi-billion-dollar scheme designed to make him the king of crypto. Like I said, his counsel said they will continue to fight, but like I also said, like the only thing they could really do is appeal. And I don't really know if that's going to work. I highly doubt the appeal is going to do anything because there's too much overwhelming evidence against Sam Bankman-Fried. And I think he's done, folks. I think he is done. If you're wondering about Gary Wang, Carolyn Ellison, and Nishad, I think they pleaded, their plea case basically gives them somewhere between 2 and 5 years in prison and then like some kind of like surveillance or probation. But they might actually be kind of like screwed as well for a while longer, but they're not nearly as screwed as Sam Bankman-Fried because they did empower Sam Bankman-Fried to do all the damage that he actually did, both to people and to crypto in general. Of course, like I said, they're only going to go after those people for tax charges. And Bankman-Fried did actually plead not guilty to all the charges, which makes it even worse. And obviously, he tried to blame Carolyn Ellison and Gary Wang, but that did not work for Sam Bankman-Fried at all, and he is going to jail. I think this is a huge, huge win for cryptocurrency. This needed to happen for people to gain some trust back into cryptocurrency, because if you just let Sam Bankman-Fried go willy-nilly and do whatever he wanted and not punish him, I don't think like people would look on it very kindly, and crypto would be looked at as more of a laughingstock than before. But I also think they want to make a huge example out of SBF because he's the first one, and the authorities need to make sure that people know that, hey, doing like huge fraud in crypto gets you time, and they're going to make an example of Sam Bankman-Fried. So I don't think they're going to land on the shorter end, which is 35 years in jail. Even at 35 years in jail, he wouldn't get out until he's 65. And getting out for good behavior, that's not going to happen for like 10, 15 years. So his sentence is somewhere between probably 35 and 140 years, which means it's almost practically for life. So Sam Bankman-Fried, he is going to pay for his crimes. And of course, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what the appellate court says, but I highly doubt it's going to matter. This trial only really took like 3 weeks, and the jury actually deliberated and decided on it in less than 5 hours. So those are not good statistics if you are the defendant, and especially since all your co-conspirators have essentially testified against you, there is essentially no way you are going to be found innocent or being acquitted, and the plan of getting a hung jury obviously did not work either. In other news, I was very happy today. Someone donated to me a bunch of Floki Inu, $600 worth of Floki Inu. So now I am on Team Floki. No, I am not going to tell all of you to actually buy Floki Inu because I don't tell people to buy meme coins, obviously. But, you know, I like Floki Inu now. I really like Floki Inu at this point. I'm going to get rid of this experiment. See, I have $632 worth of Floki Inu. And you know, meme coins, Floki is obviously going to either go like 100x or it's not going to do anything. But even if it doesn't do anything, thank you for the $600. But I could actually get $60,000 because these things can 100x. Well, maybe not so much. The market cap is 2.86. Like 286 million already. And I don't really know what market cap Shiba Inu got to, but I have a feeling that Floki could like 30-40x if it gets to Shiba Inu's last market cap. Floki is trying to actually create an ecosystem. I don't actually think it's going to, I don't like have that much hope for it, but I am definitely going to be rooting for it. And even if it just gets to the last all-time high, I'll get a couple $1,000s from this, and that will be really, really awesome. But if it can get to Shiba Inu's point of last bull run, and I think like because they're building the ecosystem, it possibly could do that. That'll be worth, like tens of thousands of dollars for me. So this was a nice boost. However, the markets right now are a little bit sketchy for Floki Inu. I would actually have to use Uniswap or PancakeSwap to actually swap out into WBNB or WETH to finally cash out. I hope Floki Inu does get listed on Coinbase before too long, But I don't know if the BNB version will actually get listed on Coinbase. But if Floki Inu actually does get listed on Coinbase, that'll boost the price up and that'll give me some liquidity. So I am looking for liquidity outlets on Floki Inu. If you're an American exchange and you list Floki, let me know because I would want to use you to cash out in the next bull run. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.